Our social affairs editor Jackie Long reporting from Harrogate. I'm joined now from Westminster by the Conservative MP Brandon Lewis, who today wrote to McDonald's asking the company to stay part of the government's work experience scheme. And here in the studio by Sophia Samra, who received unemployment benefit for 9 months before being told she would have to take part in the government mandatory work scheme. As an Occupy protester, she also comes from the opposite side of the political fence to Mr Lewis. So are the government schemes allowing businesses to exploit the unemployed? Well, let's deal first of all with you. 9 months on benefit and now they want you to experience work.
Yeah, but also in mid-January they offered me the mandatory work activity programme, which is separate. They're both mandatory, but this one is for a 4-week placement, and I told them that I wasn't going to do it because I don't agree with mandatory work. And mandatory, to me, is sounds a bit like slavery.
You're not a snob, are you? You're not somebody, because of your A-levels and the rest, you don't really want to stack shelves? No,
that's not the reason. The reason was it's mandatory and forced, and people don't even... What if they don't enjoy these jobs and they force them to be in them without pay? I thought that's totally wrong. And
but if it leads to a paid job?
What if it leads to a paid job, but they're really unhappy in? It's still forced.
Well, let me turn to you, Mr Lewis. I'm just wondering what you make of ASDA and whether you feel they handled this this case very sensibly. I mean, it's surely a big problem if you're taking people on for free and other workers who are already at the store are having to work either shorter hours or losing overtime.
Well, we heard in your report, ASDA, saying that that's not the case, that it didn't replace paid workers, and it shouldn't. This is a voluntary scheme to give work experience to people, to give young people who want it, because it is voluntary, an opportunity to get experience that builds their CV, gets their self back into that workplace, and to get something extra on their CV that can help them get a longer-term job.
But you saw Joe Wilson in that report, and he said he was coerced into it. He had to do it. And indeed, of course, Sophia here is telling us she is being told she will have to do it or she will lose her benefits.
Well, there are different schemes, and as Sophia has said, there's a mandatory scheme as well that's quite separate. That's for people who need that extra bit of help, who have lost their way and need something different. But the work experience scheme is a voluntary scheme.
Yeah, you see, you say that ASDA has handled this fine. Actually, the workers told Jackie Long, our social affairs editor, that in fact they had lost money over the Christmas period because 12 people were brought in and they lost overtime, which they normally expect to get over the Christmas period.
Well, I think, as Sir Stuart Rose said, we've got to make sure we're very clear and look at making sure that the administration of this and that the system is working correctly. But it is a work experience scheme. It's not replacing jobs. It's giving a chance to people who don't have a contact to get work experience for themselves, who want to do it, who want to get that experience, who want to learn something at being at work. And I think the people who are doing it, as much as the companies, should be congratulated for having the motivation to go out there and take on these opportunities.
Well, Sophia, there will be people looking in who will say, look, you had 9 months of benefits and you know, you should now do whatever they're asking you to do.
It's a tough climate out there. We all know that. The youth unemployment especially is skyrocketed. I mean, there's just not enough jobs out there for all of us, especially the young people. We like creative jobs and jobs we enjoy.
But do you think you need some work experience? Have you ever had any?
I've had a lot of work experience, as in I've had a lot of jobs. You know, my last job lasted for 2 years and I was a manager myself in the office environment. I've got enough experience, and they do insult your intelligence. No matter what level you're at, they just start you on a basic. And also, in the work programme, I was actually told today that it is mandatory also.
Mr Lewis, I mean, the problem here surely is that you've got somebody who's got A-levels, who's done a job as a manager and is being asked to do something which is way beneath what she previously did.
Where we do absolutely agree is it is a really tough working environment. We've got to find new ways of getting people into work. We've inherited 40% growth in youth unemployment under the last government. We've got to think outside of the box. This is just one of a number of schemes, and the work experience scheme is voluntary. The companies doing it for their community are helping young people, and they should be congratulated, as should the young people who have got the motivation to be part of it. The mandatory programme is different, and that is aimed at getting people involved in community-based work. It's not with the big corporations either, and that's for people who have been on benefits for a long time, who the job centres feel need to do something different, to need that experience of work, and to have maybe lost their way a little bit in finding work, and that's a very different scheme.
But say if they put it towards me to do work experience in, say, Poundland, and I don't want to do it, will they stop my benefits? Because I've already been sanctioned twice so far, and I had a letter today which explains the whole sanctions. If you don't agree to do what they've told you to do, you get sanctioned. That means your money is taken away from you. That means how would I be able to eat, find a job, pay my internet bills, travel? It defeats the object.
Well, they're two different things. The work experience programme is entirely voluntary, and it would be something that somebody chooses to do and wants to do. The mandatory work programme is quite different. And with the voluntary system, the work experience, no, somebody is not sanctioned for not doing it. If they want to do it, all they have to do is turn up on day one. Any time in the first week, if it's not for them, they can walk away. After that, they do make a commitment for 2 to 8 weeks, only about 5 hours a day. And that's only fair because the company's making a commitment to them as well. So that's the right thing to do. The mandatory work programme is quite different. It's for people who are a long way from the workplace or need some help into relearning those skills of work and how to be in work and how to act and behave at work.
Brandon Lewis, thank you very much. Sophia Samra too will return to this subject on Wednesday.